for those that were waiting in anticipation for this this stream to continue on with our project. I had a bit of an issue with a dishwasher yesterday, so that got fixed and it's all good now. And so let's continue on. Again, a big shout out to Manuel Ortega, who has added some more features. Well, one slice out of this particular piece of code that we're working on. So if you're not familiar with this, this is our Open Spaces project where we are making an organizational tool. We were really focusing on the naming, the starting date, setting, and we're moving on to adding rooms, I believe. And I think we had, yeah, I had this in progress here, this slice. I'm going to start to create or use the white text on here because I can't read the black text on here. I turned these down, these progress things, just a little bit too far, so they're not really visible. I think I might just get them a little. The reason I did that is because the arrows weren't visible on here. So anyway, keep trying to mix and match your arrows, because if we go back to the view layers and we turn off the progress, you can see that this is just the event model without anything interfering in terms of any other sort of artifacts. But if we want the progress on, we can sort of see which pieces have been already worked on and which pieces are finished, which ones are in progress, and which ones haven't been started. They basically don't have anything. So our goal in event modeling is to, make everything filled out. So again, I'm going to just integrate Manuel's work because right now we don't have the rooms added, but he might have done that. I'm not sure how he's doing the grid. I think he's adding the time slots. That's all he's doing. And I think he's added something for voting. So anyway, there's some PRs which we can take a look at here. So I go GitHub PR list here. So there's Ortega C Manuel, complete time slot slices. Okay, so it's got time slot slices. So I'm just going to use Peter Hingen's approach of just approving PRs automatically and fixing them later. This had given a lot of contributions to ZeroMQ, that ZeroMQ project that's used in Bitcoin's communication protocol, as far as I know. And Peter Hingens made that project quite popular by adopting his version of C4. So I'm not talking about the C4 that Simon Brown talks about, which is basically 4 depths of specifying architecture or components, sort of a take on UML organization. But the C4 that Peter Hingens wrote about was this community code of conduct for contributions, I think, which is why he shortened it to C4, if I remember correctly. And that means you just accept the pull requests. So we will just merge that pull request, and that was pull request 10, I believe. So yeah, just make a commit, submit it. Okay, so it has that. And so now if it's merged in there, we should be able to get fetch all the stuff that happened there, and then get just advance or branch forward without another merge, because that's already been done on this on GitHub. So git merge fast forward only, and I still got the notifications going as usual. I always forget to turn those off. Do not disturb. And that's it. Today, probably gonna try and only be an hour. But I also have chat enabled. So if you're on Discord, there is a new channel called Livestream Interactions. So might just go in there and see if anyone's there. It should work. I think it's integrated. So if you have if you're on Discord, or if you're on YouTube or Twitter or Twitch, your comments should come through on the screen now. So anyway, give that a go and see if you want to participate or have a question about event modeling or event sourcing. I'm happy to answer that here. And speaking of the devil, let's just see. Don't switch. Live stream chat. Oh, we have someone saying hello, and I'm not sure when that was said, so maybe my integrations are not working. Anyway, I'll do a kind of a cleanup stream with everyone on Friday to get the OBS stuff going. I think we can figure out what's going on, but I had this restream going here. Sebastian said yes. I'm not sure if that actually popped up on here. Restream's kind of a cool service. I have some of this chat stuff configured. Those settings. I'm gonna try and get the yeah, I see how long they stay for. There's a setting just to see how long things, yeah, hide messages after like 19 seconds. Let's keep the messages a little bit longer. So let's try keeping them on for about a minute on the screen. They'll disappear after that. So let's see if that works. I don't know if I need to. I guess I can just hit close. So YouTube. Okay, so I can test that on YouTube and other places. Anyway, if you oh, I see. There's chats coming in here. Oh, Pilot Bob. So I don't know if you can see them. They're kind of, yeah, they are. They're showing through. Okay, good. The diagram is not UML. Maybe that's why. I'm not sure what that's referencing to. A reference to Pilot Bob. Please explain yourself. What do you mean? Let me know. Ask again. I kind of set your messages to sit around for a minute on the screen, so hopefully I'll see that. Answer to Alessandro's question of why are you not using plant UML? Oh, because it's not UML. Well, one of the reasons is sequence diagrams are vertical, and that's actually a good question. Sequence diagrams are vertical, and event models are horizontal. And one of the things about a lot of these libraries for like Plant UML and Mermaid and all that other stuff is they're really not built for horizontal as well as I thought they would be. So I've tried to use these, and it was just not worth it. I'm sure now maybe there's a few other things that'll, like with AI, I can probably get how these things work in a better, so I can extend them. But certainly when I was trying to use this 2 years ago to see if I could extend Plant UML or Mermaid JS or some of these other libraries that were going to give a good baseline for doing this stuff, they just weren't there. So maybe that'll change. I also want to do this as my own plugin and kind of a website that you can do all this just on client side, which could be posted on event modeling .org, and you could save things to your own hard drive and all of that. But right now we're just sticking with eventmodel.drio at the base of every repository. You open it up with the extension for VS Code or whatever other IDE you're using. Okay, overwrite. Okay, failed to save event driver. Okay, so I obviously changed something here, so I want to close this. Close. Don't want to save because I know that Manuel changed this. So let's see what the changes are. Let's get rid of this thing here. Zoom out a bit. So Manuel added. He said he'd added a bunch of stuff. Oh, look at that! Awesome. So this is very, very cool. I will add. This is kind of annoying. I am keeping these dark again so you can see the arrows that are kind of light gray so that they show up in most places. I will, let's do that right now. So fix this up right now by just selecting, let's turn off, I just took off the layers. Let's turn off the actual event model and just look at the progress. Oh, so one of the things we can help with is, this is one of the issues with Draw.io. As you can see, some things get drawn on the wrong layer by accident. So what I want to do is cut all of this, and then I want to keep it on the event model only. So now I can just press Control V, and it should go on the event model only. So if I turn that off, now it sticks around. See, it doesn't disappear if I'm taking progress off. Just double check that all of that is working like that. So progress. Oh, you see there's even one of mine was in here and another one. So I have a couple of things that are on the wrong layer. Let's fix all this up. So I also have this issue here. And the reason I copy pasted everything from all layers, because when you paste back, I think it's offset a little bit. Let me just test that. I think it offsets things. So if I'm on here and I cut this, Control X, and I paste it, Control V. Oh no, it does place it in the same spot. Okay, good. I think it's only when you paste a copy does it move it off. Yes. Okay, so that's smart. I thought it by default offset it a bit. That's why I was copying everything. So I should be able to be on the event model, copy this. See, it has a little dot here. So it says I'm actually, this object is selected from the progress layer. But I'm going to cut it and then Control V to paste it again. And it does put it on the active layer, which is kind of a fast way to fix this issue. It is kind of offset anyway. I don't know why I did that. Maybe it does offset it. Maybe that was me. Anyway, so now it's on the event models. It doesn't disappear when I do this, but we have our little, remember I gave you that little piece of code if you want to play around with Fish Shell to have that little tab completed piece. Well, that is on the progress layer, unfortunately, because I forgot to check the layers again. Maybe this is more trouble than it's worth. Wish there was a better way to do it, but anyway, you just have to be more diligent. So if I'm on the event model and I get rid of this by cutting it and then pasting it, I am good. Okay, awesome. So thanks for that chat, guys. I think the overlay does work, so I'm going to review the video after and see how this is working. I think we kind of fixed it. Again, the theme that I'm using is like this 8-bit retro thing from Restream. The background color on that chat is kind of like a dark blue, which is really hard to chroma key for making the chat transparent, which I'm trying to do. And I just added Stylus, something I used to use in Chrome as an add-in to inject some CSS. And so I did that. I added a custom CSS to change the background color of that chat to be a nice, ugly, bright green, which works well for a chroma key color. And that now works quite well to have the background of the chat be transparent. So that's seems to be working well. Anyway, I think we fixed this. Let's just zoom out and make sure that things are still hiding and unhiding whenever we want. Let's get rid of these shapes so we can see more of the event model. Okay, so we'll zoom out and it's going to see everything. And if we turn progress off and on, yeah, that's hiding and unhiding. And I kind of don't want the progress to be really in the way. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we should not worry about the arrows if they're not visible, if we change these to be a lot brighter. Less, more opaque. Let's see if we can do that. And then just have that layer off when we're dealing with the work. Oops. So here's all of the slice in progress indicators selected. And if we go to the format, we should be able to take the opacity. Where's my opacity? Here it is. And just crank it up. I think that's better because we want to be able to read who's doing that and what the progress is. So up here, Atom in progress. And I don't like the colors. They're so similar. Let's just fix that too. Because in progress looks almost exactly the same as this. So I guess in progress should be more of a yellow color. So let's change that. I think Manuel's finished his. It's not in progress. So this is the only one that's going to be more yellow. Let's do a yellow. There's a yellow. Apply. Okay, and I'm guessing we'll just... The problem with this is that it's... Should I just have it 100%? Let's have them 100%. Let's make them really ugly so people can see. It's going to make it hard to read some things maybe, but let's give it a go. Let's try for 100% opacity. And then we won't have to worry as much about the colors mixing with the black background. And by the way, if you are using like Dark Reader or something, that's going to cause issues when you're seeing this in a web browser, probably. I think in extras here, Draw.io, I forget where it is. Anyway, there's a place where you can change this to be dark instead of light. I forget where I changed that. Anyway, if you look at the file and how it's saved, it might be in there. But okay, so let's get this to be totally yuck, very awful. But it shows us the progress. This, I don't know if I like this green. It's kind of the green that we're using for read models, which I don't want. So let's unselect the one that's in progress and pick a better color for this guy. Let's have a in progress bright green. I don't know what you guys think. What kind of a color? I want to. I don't want something dark. I'd rather have something lighter. So stuff that's done, I guess we'll have this color. I think we're taking it from the 4th row down. Okay, so I'll apply that. And then this yellow, this ugly yellow, we'll have from the 4th one down. I think that should be a little bit easier on the eyes. Okay, so let's show kind of who's working on what. There is a slight difference in color. Again, if you've got color blindness type issues, someone did ask about that on the forum, and what I do in those cases, hopefully the shade is darker than the background and other things like that. But I also can change I mean, once you know this, you'll understand that it's the convention is where the arrows point down. It's a blue box, arrows point up. It's a green box. So if you've been doing event modeling and you have color blindness issues, then you still will be able to understand what's going on simply by looking at these, these arrows, which way they're pointing in or out of the system. So that should be okay. And yeah, I think that's better-ish. It's still kind of ugly, but again, we kind of don't want to look at the progress all the time. We just want to do this and kind of flip this off and on to see like what's in progress. And Manuel's done these, which is wonderful. So this is add time slots. And unfortunately, I haven't finished my room names. I'm doing this in progress. I hope that Manuel has been able to test this for time slots, but he's also done this, which is interesting. So current suggestions, look, he's done way more, and all of this. Okay, so he's basically finished this. I gotta get in gear and specify the rest of the system because, yeah, this is kind of making me look bad now. I haven't had a lot of. I mean, I just came back from Berlin and jet lagged and all that. So I'll be up to speed soon enough. But it's really nice to see all this other stuff coming together by other people. So it's not just me. Okay, this looks good. So that's done. We're gonna have to look at a few options for doing multiple users and things like that, but I think this is really good for having the basics, a project that shows the basics. Again, you put your progress here, use the different colors, and then you see what's done. So let's so Manuel's done. Manuel's done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slices. That is awesome. That would get him quite a lot further ahead in any project. So awesome. So we got time slots being added, topics being suggested, which is pretty cool. So let's see how that runs. Since we did merge everything, let's hide the layers again. I kind of want to keep that nice brightness on here. Let's get rid of this thing here. We can see it all. We'll look at the code, but first I want to NVM use latest. Okay, I'm wondering why my Tide font prompt is not showing. Do I want to do this? Tide configure. Oh. Terminal. That's my terminal font size. I'll do this like this. So I'm just gonna see why I am not seeing. Okay, I want, which one looks good? Do I want the lean or the colorful? Rainbow. Let's make it a little bit more fun. Rainbow. I kind of like the way the 16 color looks. I think I want 24-hour clock. Do I want round, slanted, vertical, or angled separators? I kind of like slanted, just to kind of fit in with. Most of these things are angled though. Let's go with angled. Sharp, slanted. Okay, let's go with sharp for the end. Now, maybe I go with slanted since it'll kind of go with the forward slashes and the paths and stuff. Let's do that. And the tails, the prompt tails, so we can have it round or sharp. Kind of sharp will match the other side. It's kind of like a tag. Let's do that. And we want one line, or I think we have a larger font, so we want 2 lines with a little character. We kind of don't want the frame, I don't think, because it's going to be a little bit light on space, so I think I'm going to do without the frame. And I think I want a little bit of visual aid to see that it's dotted line separating these. I kind of don't want them disconnected, so let's just do the dotted line. And do we want the frame on the other side? No, I don't, because that's also taking up some real estate, which I don't think we have. And I think I want the compact because we're already dealing with shortage of space when we're streaming, so there's that. And I want many icons. I want all the crazy emojis in there so people know what's going on. All right, that's good. And transient prompt. I kind of, what does that mean? I forget. Oh yeah, so does it leave? Yeah, does it not have that prompt everywhere? So once you hit enter after a command, that prompt doesn't sit around and pollute the history. I think. But do we really not want to see how long things ran, or just see how long the last thing ran? Because you got the little 5-second thing. I think it'll kind of look too colorful if we don't make it transient. So let's make it transient for now. And yeah, we'll override it. Okay. I still am not seeing. Oh, this looks horrible. That doesn't look good. So the background's pretty bad. Why is it doing that? Is tide prompt not updated? Fisher update. Oh, Fisher inst. Okay. So we have a different tide prompt. So maybe that's stall. That's V6. Let's see what it did. Okay, now it works. See, it actually brought me my Node version, right? Because I can do NVM use 18, I think. We have to have installed NVM install 18. And so there's 18, but I can now use 22. And there it is. So we can change the prompt, the versions of, actually, sorry, you can't see that because I put it to the side here, but okay, there. So this part here wasn't shown. Do I have it? Yeah, actually, that's a good comment here. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the chat. I guess I was concentrating. Yeah, maybe outlines look better. It is kind of in your face, isn't it? That progress bar. But anyway, we figured out why my tide prompt wasn't working. It's kind of out of date. But yeah, let's just get rid of the way this looks and try some. Yeah, I think it would be kind of ugly. You're right. So let's make it pretty. Let's make it pretty. We get rid of the fill. We do the line, but here we can do the colors that we want. Apply, and then of course we can crank up the thickness of this line so that we can at least see. Oh yeah, that's much better. Good idea. Thank you, Pilot Bob. And also the text. I guess we can copy this color that we are using here. Apply, and then to the text we can apply the color. Yes, nice and ugly, but more importantly, is visible. And then, of course, the text we want to crank up in terms of size so that we can actually read it as to like what's done, what's in progress. I'm going to change the color. I know it's the same color for done and all that, but at least now when we're zoomed out, this looks, much better. Less of a problem for seeing things going over that. So we could have, I still have a problem of the screens being white, so you got to see the arrows as gray, so they kind of stand out on both. Let's also add some extra spacing here for these. For these to work. Oh my goodness, there's road work outside. The whole building is shaking. I'm putting in new sewer lines. I thought this was an earthquake, and we started last week. I thought it was an earthquake here. But anyway, let's highlight all these and then zoom in to see what's going on at a closer look. Damn it, I pressed the wrong one. I hate that. That's the one that I don't want to select. I think that's all of them selected. Yes. And so, all right, that's got some indentation issues here. So we have spacing on the left. We just need spacing, global, right? So just got to add more global spacing. I think I should add some to the left because, as you can see, the way the fonts are rendered, this will be a little bit better. Okay, so are we happy with the style now? I think I'm happier. I can actually read this. I know I'm zoomed out a little bit too much for you guys to read it, but for me, if I'm working on a project, I can see that, oh yeah, cool. All this stuff is done. And it's green, and this stuff is in progress, and so I should be able to just select the yellow that I picked. I guess that would be this one. Copy it, apply it, and then, of course, do that for the style itself as well here, not just the writing. Oh, I guess I can just pick it from here. Apply. Okay, so we got these nice colors. I'm not sure if I got the right text color, but whatever. Someone can correct that. All right, great, great suggestion. That looks pretty good. These guys are kind of not aligned. There, so I want to do the progress, undo that, select that, and then arrange, and then we want to select all that, and then arrange and line it up to those guys. Should be good. Yeah, still lines up. All right. So we got our progress. These guys are a little too close. That should be fine. Okay. Cool. So we have an in progress, that's yellow, and we have things that are done. So thank you, Manuel, again for all that hard work while I was traveling. It's nice to see progress being done. That's another advantage of the event model, is that, you can do things in parallel quite well because you kind of have your design, you know what you're building. And even tests. Okay, so let's see. Get status. Obviously, I just corrected all this stuff. And why am I not auto-saving? Did that auto-save? It should. Okay, it looks like it saved all my styling stuff. Good. So get status. It should still only show that as the only thing that's modified. Changes not staged for commit. Okay, cool. So you got that going. Let me just make sure I can see the chat. I can see the chat history here from you guys. And let's see. So let's commit that. So use better colors and bills for tracking progress on EM. Oops, that's the message. Can you tell that I'm jet lagged? Get commit, and then actually we don't want that. I wrote all that here. Just have to. Oops. Okay, so that's done. Git push. Let's see, we got node 2.22 as active, so let's do node run tests. Oh, beautiful. So time slot added, all that's here. We have our original tests that we wrote for namespacing, and we got a couple of tests here for the slot command and the state view. So the command handler, I should put C, it should really be the command handler. So we should start calling them CS's, sorry, CH's and state views. So let's do a search replace on that, because I don't know if I like. Oh, that's big. Okay, because it we don't have to rename these because that is a command that we're doing, but the test should be for command handlers. Although, I guess why would we do that? I'll keep it as is. That'll make it easier. We won't have two variations of anything to do with those commands. So time slots, that's good. Time slots, add time slot, handle time slot command, time slots sub. Yeah, I like this. This is good. So that has everything with time slots. It says for topic submissions, set date. So yeah, again, here we're following exactly what we see on the event model. It's going through everything that's being shown in code here vertically is horizontally represented, going left to right on the event model. So it's good. We got some really good organization to the code. And now let's, since we have all this running, let's see what the application looks like. So let's just run node. Where do you persist those events? Ah, the events are literally sitting here in the event store, the directory. So it's a file-based event store. The simplest way to do event sourcing. You can have it in a database, you can have it anywhere, but we really don't need to have it anywhere for our project, anywhere special. We're doing everything with the file system, and we'll build all our efficiencies and optimizations and see how some of these patterns naturally fall out. But we can already work on the state transitions without worrying about all that infrastructure yet. So that's a lot of the mistakes that people make when they try to understand event sourcing. They go infrastructure first instead of actually understanding state transitions as a projection of past events. That is your primary goal. The other stuff is secondary, and so you're already accomplishing a lot by saving the events, by not losing information, and you're being accountable for how you capture things. you can always elaborate from there, add things quite easily, and change and pivot easily as well. So let's run the application. So here we go. Let's follow the link. Where did we open up? Hello. Shouldn't I pop things to the front? Ah, it's on the other screen. So let me just drag that off here. All right, here we go. So we're running here. Yeah, we can set the name. Space name already exists. Oh, good. So original error handling works. 2, the sequel. Set name. Okay. Successfully. I don't like this font. We're going to have to change this. It's barely readable. It's like light gray on slightly darker gray. Not great. Continue. Let's just make this a little wider so we don't get this like weird stuff happening. Obviously, our responsive design should be better. Okay, it seems to keep after a certain size. It keeps. Well, I don't know. Maybe there's nothing there, but good enough. Let's set some. Oh, that's the thing I was gonna do. I'm actually not done. I want these to be pre-populated with because we already set the dates. So we have date range set event here. So I actually want that to pre-populate it. So maybe we'll do that next after we check out how Manuel did this. So let's set this for Friday, and let's set this for Saturday, and they've been set to just oh, did I pick the wrong one? Okay, continue. Who cares? Oh, that's horrible. How did this happen? Submit your. Okay. So I'm guessing that Manuel might have been working on a light background because our CSS is just toast. So submit your EM. So why is this doing that? This is very odd. So let's see if the handlebars. Sorry, the schedule submit topic got changed because that's gonna totally well. Let's. I'm gonna highlight this for I can barely read that. So name, facilitation, and topic. Someone actually had a suggestion about the facilitation for this to be a drop down, perhaps of a preset set of things that we want to look at, or so they can be, or they can be dynamic. So any previous types of facilitations, such as talk or a fishbowl or whatever, you would get a drop down to pick one that's so you don't have to keep typing it. But anyway, let's type this in. Okay, at least that's not the wrong color. Talk, and the topic is going to be I don't know, EM for legacy application. Okay, and I guess I should just make this a little bit taller so I can see the submit button at least. And let's do that. And so now we have a second talk. Okay, and suggest another topic. Okay, so that works, but now we don't have a menu. So let's go back here and take a look at the. So now those events were added here. So you can see that we got this is the 12th. So you can see these are the 3 events that we added. So we did the naming. There's an open space named. and set the date range, and then we submitted some events. So let's take a look at the event model and see what's supposed to happen next. So I didn't have the rooms done. I did the setting dates. This is not done yet, so there is no rooms, but we don't have the time slots, so we don't have this being stubbed out, the adding the rooms. So generally, if I'm not done with something, I kind of want to put in the stub, and the button doesn't do anything. It just floats you forward. So, we could keep adding these rooms, but they would do nothing. It would show like a fake set of events. And that's what we would do. So there are, so how do you fake this stuff? So notice that everything's an event. And this is not just for faking stuff, but for even setting up a system with a default user. You can, since the data is all just events, you can have generic events that are put in there when you quote unquote install your system or your service or whatever. And your application should work as if without any special logic that acts any differently than the actual application running. So if I wanted like a user with a default password for the first time you run something like admin with password admin, you could have that as an event. And then of course you could have some logic that if you don't have users set up and there's no password change, you don't allow anything else to happen. So you could do all sorts of regular stuff, but with that nice accountability in the back that you can follow things with a story. So for example, a lot of these commands that people would want to execute against the API or somehow end up on a page in the middle of the workflow, if they try to submit a form to add a date, but the default stuff's not set up yet, all those things should fail. So that you might have a test that makes sure all your command handlers are looking at like, hey, is the last thing that, do you only have those initial events in there still? If so, you should error out, like you got to set some stuff up before we can do anything. Anyway, so I'm guessing I could just go to the URL to test out this this part here, which is add time slots. So let's take a look at the app.js and see what the time slots are. So add time slots. So /add time slots is, or we just go to time slots, I guess. That's the get. So you can copy that and go to our application and put that route in here, that URL. Oh, perfect. That looks really well. Aside this dark theme problem, I'm gonna fix that, but let's just say we have the first time slot from 9 a.m. till 10 a.m. and the name is just slot 1. Add time slot. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so then we can do 10 a.m. Probably do a better, like this UI can definitely be fixed where you can just move, drag and drop things, and have a couple of sliders that kind of change the size of the time slot, and they can be plunked in. Some pretty cool little JavaScript shenanigans can be done here, but also if someone doesn't have JavaScript enabled, you could have a fallback to this. So you could just have some JavaScript that shows the other, pops over a better UI or replaces this one. But if someone has JavaScript disabled, it'll just have this because that replacement logic won't run. So a lot of fun little things we could do here. So let's do slot 2 here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, and this is half-hour blocks. Okay, so the other problem is that there's chunks here. You can do a whole bunch of nice, helpful things for scheduling here, such as, you know, what is the break between sessions. So you could say, like, you know, 5-10 minutes or 15 minutes for people to have like a little bit of time to go and find where they want to go next, and maybe have a conversation with people in the hallway as they're passing one another by. So, you know, you could have that. And then, of course, exclude that gap from if there's lunch. So if there's lunch, then you don't bother counting the gap. And it's just an hour and a half or whatever. And you go back into your slots. So I guess for this time, we're just going to not bother. That's version 2. So we can see how we go from this version and elaborate a brand new event model for V2, which will have some of these nice enhancements. This should allow us to make a decent schedule. We could just say that there's, you know, 15-minute breaks, but I think the amount of the granularity of the time, you know, might be better to be 15 minutes or 5 minutes to, but then again, you're getting like a really big drop down, so you probably want to split it off into two, have the hour, and then have the offsets in minutes, maybe every 10 minutes or something. Who knows? Again, could be dynamic as well within this page. So slot 2, 10 to that. That should be fine. Okay, so we got 9 to that, and then we have 11 to 11 to, and look at that. So we're running out of room here because I'm zoomed in for you guys so you can see what we're doing. But I think you're gonna not be able to see the submit thing. Oh well, we're way past that problem now, I think. So till noon, that'll be slot 3. Okay, add the time slot, and then we're going to then add from 12 till 1 or 13, maybe 13:30, we'll have lunch. And that allows people to go out and find a place to eat. If you don't have lunch there, you probably want another 15 minutes each way, so half an hour extra to go to the place you want to eat at, sit down and eat, and then also 15 minutes to walk back. Let's just do that. So we have lunch, and then we have well, let's see if we have an error. But I'm gonna guess that Manuel might have done something for catching errors if there's overlaps. Let's just try and start the next slot for, let's try and put that sort of when lunch isn't over yet. So we'll do that as slot 4. It's okay, so he doesn't have the logic for that. So that's fine. Then of course we have all the other test cases that we're going to do for, like, okay, well, how do I delete these, or how do I rename them or adjust them? You know, they're kind of like cruddy, so there's definitely some UX UI that could be improved here. We have the low tech solution here, but if you're, you know, trying to enter all this in, should be an easier way. Like maybe, you know, create this in bulk. So just say, you know, add 3 slots in a row or whatever. Who knows? Overthinking it, I think. We're only going to be doing this once. So, again, with that mistake in mind, let's continue on. We could probably change that lunch slot at some other point. Oh, pardon me. 14 till 15, and that'll be slot 5. Okay, so we kind of did that. Okay, so we have all these with the lunch being an issue. Now, the nice thing about event sourcing, you're not supposed to do this, but I mean, I see them all as files here. So where I time added, see all these time slot added. So the fourth one is my lunch one, right? So I can see that. And I know I have an error here. So you're not supposed to do this in event sourcing, but let's just fix that. And then close that and then go back here and just refresh this page. All right, and notice that this is now, it now ends at the proper time, but you're not supposed to do that. I'm not following any good practices of event sourcing here just to edit an event. We never edit events. Always have a compensating action. So there should be an event of like time slot adjusted, and have like a ID for these, or at least identify them by when they were added in, or by name or something like that. Anyway, this is just another way of looking at what people want to do for basic information storage, but how we do things in the background, whether we actually rename something or we delete it and put in something else, depends if we have anything attached to it. In this case, we can just delete them and add new ones because we haven't started associating any topics for any of these, or like being able to place any topics here. And once topics are placed, you kind of don't want to rename the time slots. Although there may be a use case where you do, when the event is going and halfway through you notice that you have a typo, you got slot 6, it's confusing people instead of slot 5. You want to edit that. So there's that that logic there. Does that require you to store an ID for each of these? Probably not. You can still look at this. You have some business rules that you can't name the slot as any other slot names already. Maybe you do, but really depends what kind of system you want. But yeah, in that case, for this, there's not too many time slots here. You probably want to just match on the text of the name of this time slot, and only when you do this as a large scale application for thousands of users do you start to consider like maybe I should have IDs, and this might actually make some sense into how a database might work in these projections to get at these things faster. But even for materializing views, why not use files still, right? There's good reason to not bother and just publish the events to some traditional tables for analytics, or something that has to look across all your tenants for reporting. But for each event organizer on their own, they don't really need that reporting across all the other things. So that's part of multi-tenancy, is having that isolation while the whole application runs everyone together. So things to consider. So this looks great. So we have these time slots, and we're kind of done with the time slots. Again, we didn't provide the event model didn't really provide guidance on the navigation yet. So we kind of wanted to jump in. Remember, we wanted to jump in to some of the implementations of the slices early, so we could learn some of the simple mechanics of how we do posts and gets, and learn together about that, and just show the day-to-day, a little bit of the day-to-day, and a little bit of the infrastructure. But now we're getting to the point where we obviously left that design phase a little too soon, because we don't have a really good idea of how you switch from defining these things here to then jumping over to topic suggestion. Because now so yeah, adding the time slots, that's fine. Yeah, we didn't did I actually do this? I don't think I've done this. Manual done, Atom done. I think this is supposed to say Manuel done. Did I do this? Maybe I did do this. I forget now. But anyway, if this is done, I'm wondering how... Yeah, this is just topic suggestion. Okay, so we don't have voting for topics or schedule creation. Okay, that's what I was after. Because, yeah, without, having our rooms being added, there's no way we can create a schedule. Or is there? So if I left this, in this state where I'm not finishing the adding of the rooms, how does another person implement something that depends on that? Well, the event model kind of gives you the idea of the shape of the data and like what will be implemented, and you could stub this out yourself. You could just add the events manually and put in some fake screens where it just takes you to the next step and you can follow everything along, and then you can actually go to the schedule creation or the voting topics if they're specified and start to implement them. And then when this person, in this case it's me, when this person finishes this work, everything should still click together. And that's the whole idea of having well-defined contracts and writing to interfaces and all that kind of stuff. So I don't care how I do all this implementation. I just know that I'm leaving these really important events in the event store that will be used down here to be able to facilitate all of this functionality here. So anyway, but that's pretty cool. We have a lot of events now, and I think our little fish shell example should actually work better. I should exit this and start a new terminal because we fixed Tide. Yeah, there's Tide prompts working now. So if we go show events, oh, it doesn't even have that. So we go function. And then function up arrow. There's our function. And then completion, complete. That should work. So show event. And then tab complete. Yeah, so this is finding every single event ID that we have. So if I know that, one of the events starts with like, what is it here? F79E. So I look at F79E. I'm wondering if the tab completion will work with, if I do F7 and then tab. Yes, it'll tab complete the whole thing. This is amazing. So, but if I don't see how many, start with F, there's only one. Do we have, I think 3 is used twice. So if I do 3 and tab, yeah, it gives me these, and it underlines that 3E is what both start with. So 3E, so 3EF34 will give me, I think, one of the slot creations. So if I enter that, yep, that's a slot, time slot added, which is perfect. So again, the previous stream showed how I made that little function, and that's why I love Fish Shell. So, and just how quickly you can add tab completion to a function that you write straight in your terminal. It's awesome. So anyway, that's really good. I think I'm running out of time for today, unfortunately, because I gotta get other stuff done. But again, thank you to Emmanuel. I think you did this. I think let me just run the topic suggestion part. Let's look at yeah, one last thing before we go. So let's go to our app, and so we got time slot added. which we looked at, and this obviously this handling this is fine. Oh, I guess here is looking for identical things. Time slot already exists. Okay. And then we have the view of the time slots. So yeah, very easy. Map. I guess. So here's another project for folks. If you guys want to do a pull request, I feel like I need to open an issue. So I need to open an issue for the fact that the theme has this ugly white stuff, because I'm using a dark theme, but someone that's developing was using a light theme and they're not dynamically looking for that. I don't have to flag that as an issue. So I don't want to have to go to GitHub to make issues. So we got to find somewhere on the event model, where do we have, how do we say there's an issue here? So, okay, if Manuel is done, but I have a problem with his work, I can basically say that there's an error, and I can, create some sort of tracking. Again, if you look at the layers here, view layers, and I have the progress part highlighted. I can say, I can actually add another layer. I can say, let's do that. And let's call this layer, let's move it down. Actually, no, let's keep it higher. And I'm going to rename it. I'm going to tell it, so discussions. Okay. Or communication. Let's do that. Communication. So why am I getting, I don't want that. Okay, so apply. So I have communication here. And if I basically create, where's my general stuff? I create another box here, and I go to Manuel here, and I say, all right, I want this to be, first of all, the style. I think I'm just going to borrow the style from here, copy style, and then click here, and then paste style. And then I'm just going to change the line to be red to say there's an error. Apply. And I'm going to write in here that this must, and text will be red as well. And maybe he will see that this is now still in progress. I'll change it for him, put it back for him to work on. Any kind of event modeling tooling would automatically flag this for him via email or other notifications, because I'm mentioning him here. But now if I start to type and say, this should not be almost white on white on a dark theme, right? So now I've flagged this as an issue for Manuel, and it's in this communication thing. And so this gives us a nice capability of using the event model to kind of see, if there's any problems with any of our development along the way. Let's just hide this for a second. So if I'm looking at this, let's just hide this a little bit more. Hide this a little bit more. So with the layers here, if I'm looking at this kind of zoomed out and I say, okay, I just want to see, where are the errors, right? Or I want to see the progress, but I don't want to see any errors. If I see any errors in something that's been done, I might want to look at that progress and change this for Manuel that it's not, your slice is actually not done. You didn't do a thorough test for the theming on your UI pieces here. So let's do that and change this back to this yellow. And then of course change the status here to be in progress still. So no, you're not actually done yet, and that's fine. The style, the line, we want the same color as well. So now this is back to being done. And I think this is this Manuel that did this. It says me. But anyway, so yeah, hopefully that makes sense. So we have this still in progress, and we have an error. If we don't want to show any communications, that's that. And as you have more and more issues with certain areas of the whole system, you should be able to zoom out and kind of identify all the red things in that. Of course, you can also turn off the event model and just count up and see exactly where there's issues. You could probably also have a smaller severity in here, like a yellow on this as well, or something else, or maybe orange or other color schemes to kind of highlight maybe not errors, but questions about the requirements. So that could also be used, or you could also use red because it is sort of like another way to wait. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, good call there, George, about why we're using Draw.io. And again, I'm not tied to it, so right now it's doing the job somewhat, and keeps this accessible to everyone. So okay, I think that's that. I think we see everything working. Topic suggestions worked. Oh, I think we didn't do one more thing. So that topic suggestions do work. And I think that's it. So let's view layers, turn everything back on. I don't know if maybe that's my mistake. Manuel finished this, but the time slots, I'm not sure if they have the same problem. Did we have the same problem with time slots? I think we did. So we can copy this and just move that over to this, and that should be in the communication thing. So I'm going to Control Z that and Control Z that, and I'm going to go to communication layer, and I'm going to paste that here so it's in the communication layer. And so I'm going to say the same thing for this time slots, which I think might be my problem. But anyway, I'm going to blame Manuel for it now. Again, play around with the formatting if it's better for the text to be at the bottom of this, since now we can fit it. anyway, the idea is that you can turn off this communication, and yeah. So hopefully that showed you how much progress we've made, and we'll continue to do this tomorrow. I'm going to continue to see if other people want to commit more pull requests. I will have to specify some more of the event model, like or maybe you guys can specify how you want to vote for topics. You know what? You can put in pull requests for the actual event model itself. You don't have to do by the slice. You don't have to play the part of the developer. You can play the part of the business owner, product owner, or whatever, and specify how this should work. And so yeah, feel free to contribute on either side, either the person that is talking about what the product should do, as we have done so far here, and is missing, that part's missing here, or if you just want to wait around until, hey, give me some more code to work on, do the pull requests for that. So again, special thanks to Emmanuel Ortega, who has done that. If someone wants to play along with him and be the boss that's specifying how to do stuff, we can see how this dynamic plays out and see if other people jump in if we specify a lot of slices in this event model, see how it goes, and then maybe even have other things such as scenarios where you have I think on Discord some people are talking about what if you have like real issues of people competing for the same topic and they're submitting them. Can we add some business rules and some scenarios in here that kind of show that happening, and then make sure that they're specified well enough for someone to understand how to actually implement it. So yeah, the Discord channel had some so yeah, the Discord group, our Discord server had some really good discussions in the general channel about what we want to show here. So I read that. I didn't respond in the chats. I was too busy with all sorts of stuff for work. But I did take note, and I am going to address all of those in this project. So stay tuned, and hopefully, yeah, maybe you can also make some pretty cool tab completion type of things in Fish Shell. It's pretty fun to do all that. So anyway, hope you learned something. Hope you participate. Oh, the repo. The repo is easy to find. You just have to go to my GitHub and then look at my latest activity. Really, in open source, this is really the only thing I'm contributing to. Everything else that I'm working on is private repos, so you won't see anything else in my open source contributions other than this project. So yeah, Sebastian, good to see you. Sebastian Bortz is in the chat. I guess you saw that chat pop up. He is really good at event modeling, but without event sourcing, because that's his environment, and he's been using this methodology for running projects that are traditional in terms of architecture, and they don't have this storage of every single thing that happened as you go through. But I'm hoping people see the advantage of doing this, and now you have so many options of how you want to tackle any of these other workflows, instead of just assuming it's CRUD, forms over data, which makes so many bad assumptions and doesn't allow you to really express the importance of one way of looking at things versus another, or at least it makes it easy to not do that. So yeah, thanks again everyone that joined. I try to do these in a decent amount of time. I know it's getting towards 11 p.m. in Central Europe, I believe. So thank you for everyone that stayed up that late. I try to do these at a time where, at least in Europe, you're kind of done putting your kids to bed and done with dinner, and you're kind of relaxing, so you can kind of watch this. And I know that a lot of North American people that are live streaming stuff in the middle of the day, that kind of works for you to kind of see this in the evening. And I wish I had that privilege to kind of sit back in the evening and just look at participate with some of those things. Most of the people that are active on Twitch and all of that are probably are usually not on this late. They're getting ready for the next day. They're going to sleep. So anyway, you're lucky in Europe to be able to see these in the evening. So any other suggestions for this, feel free to reach out in the Discord server. And yeah, so I know Sebastian has kids, so is happy to have them probably sleeping, and now he can just relax and participate. So maybe yeah, you can probably just type on your phone or whatever, so it's not making noise. You don't have to be at a keyboard. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta get on with my day. So good to see that people are back on the chat and interacting. And sorry about missing the last day. Again, dishwasher needed to be fixed, and life gets in the way. So see you tomorrow. More of this. I want to get more into the coding again, because now there's other people coding more than me. So I gotta fix that. So thanks, and see you tomorrow. Have a good evening or the rest of your day if you're in North America.